Today I'm going to be talking about my why I do what I do, and why I choose to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to talk about my mom, her journey with breast cancer, how it affected our family, and how it changed the way I look at entrepreneurship forever. Hi, my name is Carissa. People call me Kissa, and I'm an entrepreneur and blogger based in Los Angeles. My goal is to share my journey as a businesswoman to hopefully help and inspire others to build their happiest lives. So normally I don't do videos like this. I don't do very personal videos here on YouTube, but today is an exception. So why? What am I sharing with you today? Well, first let's flash back. My mom and my dad were both small business owners. My mom was a realtor and my dad owned his own trucking business. As much as she resisted, their only child, me, became an entrepreneur as well. In 2005, at the age of 19, I started my first business, and the rest is history. But 4 years ago, in October of 2013, we found out that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. That day began the scariest time of my entire life. Both of my parents, being small business owners and both having pre-existing conditions, weren't qualified for health insurance. So my mom had no choice but to have surgery outside of the country. At the end of October, my mom and dad flew to the Philippines so that my mom could have a mastectomy. Her surgery was successful. She stayed there for a few months to recover, but she definitely needed chemotherapy and radiation treatment. Just in the nick of time, Covered California started and gave my mom and my dad health insurance on January 1st, 2014. The moment that we knew that my parents would be insured, my mom and dad flew back so that she can start her chemo and radiation therapy here in the United States. In February of 2015, we thought that the worst was finally behind us and we can get back to our normal lives. But we found out shortly after that my mom's cancer had spread to her brain. Then, in January of 2016, almost 3 years after battling cancer, my mom passed away in my childhood home with me and her family members by her side. To this day, that was the hardest thing I ever had to witness. I was there to see her take her last breath, and I was there when her heart beat for the last time. I was the one that gave the eulogy at her funeral, and I can't even explain all the emotions that I felt. Gratitude, appreciation, heartache, anger, sadness. So, why am I telling you this? Why am I sharing this incredibly personal story on the internet? What's the point? Well, I realized through all this that God had a plan for me. Call it fate, call it the universe. I like to call it God's plan. When I took over my family business in September of 2013, I only had 1 month with my mom before she was diagnosed with breast cancer. All the jobs that I held up until that very moment prepared me for what I needed to do and who I needed to be a successful entrepreneur. It gave me the essential tools that I needed to help make my business grow. It turns out we only had 4 short weeks. I couldn't believe all the things that I had to learn before my mom had to leave for the Philippines. I didn't think I would make it. There were days where I would sit in the office and cry because I felt so lost and I felt like I just needed my mom, but she wasn't there. She had her health to worry about, and my family was depending on me to make this business successful and to carry on without her there. But like I said, through all those trials, I found my why. Why do I do this? Why am I an entrepreneur? Why do I want to run my own small business? It's because of my family, because of my future. My faith, my family, and my future are the reason why I choose to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people depend on me for a lot of different things. That's why every single decision I make is really heavy on my heart. I don't make spontaneous business decisions. I think it through. I think about all the possibilities. I think about the possible failures. And if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with all of my energy, and I'm going to give it my all to make sure that if it didn't work out, it wasn't because I didn't try hard enough. My family means so much to me, and I don't want to let them down. Our heart, our soul, everything we have is put into our business. I definitely got that entrepreneur spirit from my mom and my dad. Through entrepreneurship, I've realized that anything is possible as long as you believe and you put in the work. When my mom passed away, I took it upon myself to make it a goal of mine to carry on my mom's legacy. I didn't want the memories of my mom to fade, not just in my heart and my mind, but all the people that she met and came across during her life. I want people to remember her for what she's best known for: her grace, her humility, and her beautiful smile. And I think that for me, the best way to remember her is to continue on the things that she started. Her real estate business, ninongs, and all the selfless things that she did for so many people. When my mom found out she had brain cancer, she kept it to herself and she didn't really tell many people. Even when she did tell people, she never really told us how bad it really was. I feel like in some ways, she was trying to shield us from the pain. Instead of being negative and just focusing on all the bad, what she decided to do was she decided to start fundraising for City of Hope, where she was getting treatment at the time. She decided that she wanted to try to raise $2,000. Well, when my mom passed away in January of 2016, she had only reached $325. So I made it my personal goal to continue and hopefully raise that $2,000 in her honor. So if you have even $1 to spare, I'm going to go ahead and put the link to the donation site below. But if you don't have an opportunity to give, that's okay. All I ask is maybe that you share this video, you share the website. That way, hopefully, I can reach that $2,000 in honor of my mom. My goal with this fundraising page, as well as my entrepreneurial journey, is to just be a light and do good just like my mom did. I want to give back, and I want to show people how my mom has instilled these values in me. So with that said, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time to hear a little bit about my story. If you want to see more of my content, feel free to visit my blog at blog.cocreativecartel.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JustKissa. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.